Welcome back to our second official episode of Teen Mom and a Dropout. A third? Oh, yeah. Welcome back
to our
third official episode of Teen Mom and a Dropout. I got confused because we just had our lunch day, and that was such a huge success.
I know, that honestly, thank you to everyone who watched us.
Absolutely.
That was just such an unreal feeling, like really seeing it finally come to life
and like
how much people enjoyed it.
Yes, and like the fact that people actually sat through and listened to us just talk.
Yeah, honestly, thanks for listening to us ramble.
But we have another very controversial topic today, and I'm so excited to get into it.
I'm pretty excited as well.
So today's episode, we are going to be talking about how America is a poison in and of itself. America is poisoning us from the inside and out, from our bodies to our minds. And it's all kind of just this whole profit scheme.
No, literally, it's just so they can make more money or save money.
So let's just jump in. We have some good points. Let's get into it.
Alrighty, what do you even want to start with? There's just so much poison to choose from.
Where do we even start?
Okay, so crazy enough, we're sitting here talking about how America's poisoning us, and this girl posted on Snapchat, she was like, if you have 3 minutes of your day, like, go and watch this. And so I watched the video, and it was this lady talking about the secret covenant with, like, John B. Rockefeller, I think his name is, which is, like, one of the richest men in America. And it's basically just his secret covenant and like what he wrote about it and like all the rules and everything that they plan to do with it. And I was reading through it because I went and found it after I watched the video, and it's just everything that it's talking about is literally everything we're talking about.
Right,
like
word for word,
it
almost
ties directly into all of our points, and it's just that's kind of cray-cray. So I highlighted some of it. We will post it down if you want to go read it for yourself, the whole thing, but I just highlighted some of the main points. It says, our goal will be accomplished one drop at a time so as to never bring up suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. And that's just something we were talking about, like with the train derailments that happened in Ohio, like,
yes,
literally seeped poisons into the atmosphere, into the ground, into the soil, into the water, into everything. And
once it happened, the only place I saw people talking about it was on TikTok. And then from there, the only like officials and advisors that I've seen are people saying like, oh, don't worry about it, it's safe. Like, the drinking water's safe, the atmosphere's safe. Literally. And you did a lot of research on that, so I'll let you take the floor.
I know, I was reading this one article and you saying like they're literally just here telling us they're safe. It says Alan H. Shaw, he appeared before a Senate committee, and all he had to say was that he was deeply sorry for the impact that it had like affected on the East Palestine residents, but he insisted that the air is safe to breathe and the water is safe to drink.
Right.
But he had no proof. It was just, oh yeah, I'm in charge. Listen to me. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Everything's perfect.
Because I'm telling you it is.
Yeah.
And I don't have any proof. I don't have any reasoning or science behind it, but I'm going to tell you that it's safe, and you're just going to have to believe me, because what can you do about it? And we're talking about specifically the chemicals and stuff in Ohio and the caused from the train derailment. But honestly, these same ideologies like can be transferred to any of the points that we're about to get to. But specifically with the train derailment, it's like, I'll let you get back into some of the like chemicals and stuff that were released, because you were telling me these things and I was so shocked how they could ever even have the audacity to say that any of this is just safe to live through.
Yeah, and it's like, how are you going to sit there and tell these people it's safe when you have literally no way of knowing the long-term effect that it's going to have on these people?
Right.
Like, you're just talking out your ass right now and trying to, I mean, I guess you're trying to make them feel better, but it's like you're just lying to them.
Straight to their faces.
And so some of the chemicals that were on the train, where I'm gonna butcher these words, but I'll try. Here, I'll show you so you can maybe help me.
Yeah, I'll put them on the screen too.
Yeah. But
What?
butyl acrylate or acrylate?
Okay, first of all, if I can't even say the name of these
Yeah, no,
things,
literally. I'm just not even gonna try.
We'll
put them up on the board for you guys.
oh yeah, we gotta bring our whiteboard back.
Yeah. But pretty much all of the like common things they had in all the things they had in common were like they irritate the skin, the eyes, respiratory tract system, leave you with headaches, whatever. But one that really got me, it's called vinyl chloride. It says vinyl chloride, for example, the chemical that was carried in 5 of the cars, can cause toxic fumes made up of new compounds like carbon monoxide, hydrogen chloride, and phosgene, and a substance classified as a lethal chemical weapon in World War One. And it's like, so you're gonna sit here and tell me that the air is safe to breathe after you burned those chemicals, turned them into the toxic fumes they're talking about that were used as lethal weapons.
In World War One.
And it's like, it said burning vinyl chloride can also produce dioxins, which are known to cause cancer, infertility, type 2 diabetes, and ischemic heart disease and immune disorders. I don't know if that's how you say that, but like, that's just interesting too, like saying all the things it's going to cause, because back to the Secret Covenant, let me find where I highlighted it. The poison will be hidden in everything that surrounds them and what they eat, drink, breathe, wear. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite.
Right.
So exactly, like, these chemicals are now in their soil and their water and the air, like, and yeah, it's been, some time since then, but it's like, it's still there. Like,
these effects are going to be super long lasting. Like, people, like, you're going to be breathing in this stuff, eating, drinking this stuff, and you may not notice an immediate reaction, but 10, 20 years down the line, when you and your family have like cancer or like infertility issues, it's like, it all comes back to all of these chemicals that you're just consuming.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
and then the part where it says like they're pretending, to tell you otherwise, and it's like literally it just goes back to all of the
guy telling him, oh, everything's okay, everything's fine, everything's safe,
and it's like, who are you?
Yeah, literally,
who are you to tell me that I'm gonna be okay? Like, why aren't you over here drinking this water then? Like, if it's so safe, then why don't you come over here, live here for a while, and then tell me it's safe?
Yeah.
It's like, it makes me angry, because the people who really are in effect are the people who can't just up and leave their homes like that in Ohio. It's like, they can't just up and leave because it's a danger to them. Some people they don't have that blessing. They can't afford it. They have family ties there. Like, for whatever reason, it's not just easy to up and leave somewhere because, like, this happened, and it's like these people are stuck there. Yeah,
and it's like, another thing I saw was that agency said that the officials were testing everything that was on the train, but toxicology experts say the chemical makeup of a spill changes over time as it ages and interacts with the atmosphere, the soil, and the groundwater, creating copious new threats that cannot be easily profiled. And it's just like,
yeah,
like, those chemicals are there now. Like, once it's released into the atmosphere, like, isn't it like stuck there, like greenhouse gases and all like that effect and shit like that? Like,
I think so. I mean, I'm not like
I'm not an expert. I'm not a toxicologist here now.
Right, but I would assume so.
Yeah, and it's just like in the soil, like
all the foods you eat now, all the everything that's being farmed there. Some of the residents who live near where the spill happened are saying that they feel like things aren't being tested thoroughly enough, and they just don't feel safe there.
Yeah,
and I don't blame them.
Yeah, it says still some experts have said that the authorities have not tested in enough places or for broad enough range of substances. Because when I was reading it, it was saying how like they were testing for like the really dangerous stuff, like could kill you stuff, right? But it's like they weren't testing for the stuff that could just cause a reaction or cause, something in the long run. And so it's just like, again, back to, how are you going to tell me it's safe when you're not even testing for everything? Right. You don't even know exactly what chemicals are here now. Yeah, that is just crazy to me. And then just again back to this covenant thing, like, like, that's something that happened, and they're so just trying to be so, you're okay.
Yeah.
And it's like they do that in so many
So
things.
much.
Like, even the food we eat, the stuff we drink, the stuff we watch, like,
Right.
everything is poisoning our minds and bodies in some kind of way.
And it's like the reason why it's so prevalent in America is because America is like capitalist central. And I hate to say that everything ties back into capitalism, but come on, like what doesn't at this point? Like all of these companies, their end goal is to make a profit. And if you are in a healthy state of mind, healthy body, you're not going to be a profit to them at this point because they can't make money off of you. And
We literally just saw that quote. It was like,
Right.
a healed customer is a lost patient.
Right. A healed patient is a lost customer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm
You,
following
yeah,
you.
you got it, though.
And then, not only that, this is like more conspiracy theory realm. Can you look up that movie, White Noise? Yes, I watched that on Netflix. Basically, it's like the whole time the authorities are telling people that it's like safe to go back, but obviously no one's believing that crap. And it literally like shows clips of like a train just like derailing and the chemicals just like spilling everywhere. Like it's crazy that this happened. And I'm gonna have to fact check this, but I saw that it was filmed 30 minutes away from where the actual train derailment in Ohio happened. Like that's like a coincidence that's almost like unbelievable to be a coincidence.
Where it's just like, it's too uncanny. Like
Right.
and like that just goes back to like the secret covenant thing I was saying, how they were like, we're gonna do this one step at a time to like in minuscule amounts so they don't notice. And it's like, yeah, like you hear train derailment, you see this happening. If you're not, obviously there, you're not directly affected, you're probably not gonna think much more into it.
Right.
And so it's like, but how many other things like that have happened that like we don't even know about, or like we haven't been informed about, because that's something like I personally I would have never known about the train derailment if it wasn't for like TikTok.
Right.
And it's like, why is this not something that is being more talked about on everywhere?
There should be like a national event.
Literally.
Well, I just feel like right now in America, there are way too many national events happening. It's like every other day, it's just like a huge national crisis that without TikTok, you're never going to be able to see all of it. And it's just crazy that they're banning it in the US. It's crazy, but it's not unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's predictable. It's like,
because it's like, when you think about it, like when you watch like the videos of like them in Senate and everything, like they're saying they're doing it because they think that China is trying to steal our information, this and this, yada yada. But it's like, that's what they're telling us, but think about it, like TikTok is one of the quickest ways to spread mass information literally all over the world.
and get the masses on your side, like no matter where you are.
And that's something the government just has no control over. Like
Right.
they have no say in what's put on there. They have no say in, who views it. Like it's there for anybody to see.
Yep.
And, with stuff like the derailment that, I feel like they were probably trying to keep on the DL. They didn't want people freaking out about it, knowing about it, and, causing a big ruckus. They can't stop that spread of information.
Right.
So I think to stop it, they're just going to ban it, which is crazy to me.
It is so crazy that that's even like legal. And it's like the TikTok ban isn't even like the surface of it, because it goes so much deeper. It's like the actual bill that they're trying to like pass is taking away so many First Amendment rights. It's like insane. And the fact that this is happening today in 2023 in the land of the free.
Literally. What happened to what for the people, by the people?
Right.
Where's my say in this?
Right.
Where is my representative saying, no, please don't take my TikTok?
Right. And I was gonna say, it's crazy the day that we live in and this age that you were saying how powerful TikTok is, because when all of the stuff was happening in Ukraine, tell me why I was getting videos on my For You page from actual Ukrainians going about their day-to-day life and showing how much they were like living in fear from like all of the, like the war and stuff like that. So the fact that we can see these things in real time and not have to read it in a history book or not have to see it on CNN or Fox News, which we know are like paid to
Corrupted,
say,
yeah.
like, right. Another ideology in the covenant was the fact that like the two-party systems like are putting them together. You can read the actual quotes. I don't remember.
Let me see.
But the fact that the two-party systems are made to go like against each other, and so you never get anything accomplished. Yeah. And we're always just fighting with each other.
I know, it says we will establish their governments and establish opposites within the two-party system, but we will own both sides.
Right.
And so it's like they know what they're doing, because obviously, like, if enough people got mad enough about the same issues, the government could be overthrown.
Yeah.
But when you create these two parties with such differing views, what are those parties ever going to come upon and agree upon?
Yeah.
Nothing. But if you own both of them, you know exactly what you're doing, you're playing your fields right, you're set. They're good.
Right, because while the Americans and the, like, society are arguing about, like, abortion or no abortion or gun rights and whatnot, or even small things like finances, whatever it is, while they're arguing about everything, the people who are on top are still profiting. Mm-hmm. And that is what America is all about. It's about profit. So for the TikTok thing, it's like a lot of these politicians are being paid by like Facebook and Meta and Google, groups like that, because they know that if they can take out the competition in America, that's a huge profit for them. And so what is it? It's like lobbying. It's like these social media groups, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. They're like lobbying these politicians, paying them to vote certain ways that will like affect the outcome of whether like TikTok is banned or not, right? Mm-hmm. And so just the fact that everything in America is run by money, your health, your body, your family, your everything, your kids, it's so scary. And it gives me a lot of anxiety thinking about it. As someone who has kids and has a family, it's so terrifying. I tell Walker, I'm like, I can't live here for the rest of my life. I really can't, because
it's just, I feel like as every day goes on, it's just something new and worse is going on. And it's like, we're finally we're taking those fucking rose-colored glasses off and seeing, oh shit, this is not the land of the free. This is like even like there's like, I feel like even the thoughts we think are our own are not our own.
I mean, you've literally been conditioned from your entire life, raised on whatever people want you to believe. Mm-hmm. And it's only until you start thinking for yourself, doing your own research, figuring out what you believe, when you can finally say like, oh, I'm a free thinker, like, you know, like you said, like,
all right guys, here's our little ad break for this episode. My Instagram will be here, my TikTok will be here,
right? And then my TikTok and Instagram are right here on the screen as well. But more importantly, our podcast,
TikTok,
and Instagram.
Yes.
I am so excited. Like, we literally like spent the other day at a coffee shop getting like content ideas for these podcast things, and we are so excited. So make sure you're following us on these platforms, and just thank you so much again for watching. Can't wait to have real ads, but until then,
enjoy our annoying little self-plugs.
Right. Oh yeah.
I think I kind of should I just kind of read all the points I have highlighted, and then we can touch on like how each of our points tie into literally this whole thing.
Right.
Okay. So our goal will be to accomplish one drop at a time, so that it never brings suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will work together and will always remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so they will never see what is happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food, water, also in the air. They will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from our many fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poison will be hidden in everything that surrounds them, in what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We will teach them that poisons are good, with fun images and musical tones. We will start early on when their minds are young. We will target their children with what children love most, sweet things. When their teeth decay, we will fill them with metals, and we will kill their mind and steal their future. When their ability to learn has been affected, we will create medicine that will make them sicker and cause other diseases, which will create more medicine. They will grow depressed, slow, and obese, and they will come to us for help. We will give them more poison.
I mean, it's like spelled out like right there.
Right fucking in front of you.
Let's take it like point by point and like talk about it.
So one thing that like really just like catches my mind and my attention and how it says we will start early on with their minds when they're young. We will target children with what children love most, sweet things, which is so crazy because we were literally just talking about like the foods in America and like all the artificial sweeteners and the dyes that they put in our food and just all this stuff.
Yes.
And it's just like, you know, all the stuff that you would think is, oh, that's so yummy and that's so good and I love that, is like literally poisoning you. We were looking at that site of like all the banned foods in America, or like banned American foods in other countries, and it's like stuff like, I'm just gonna read some of them.
Right.
It's like Ritz crackers, Twinkies, Gatorade, yeah, coffee creamer, Skittles, pork, ground beef, Swiss rolls, and then this one she was talking about. It's this lady on Instagram, the Natural Minded Mama. She posted about like the dyes and like yellow 5 and
red dye 40
and how it's contributing to like your child's behavioral and other issues.
Which is really interesting because I just watched a TikTok or a TED Talk. God, I just watched a TED Talk and it was coincidentally it was on TikTok, but I remember she was like either like a licensed nutritionalist or something like that, and she was saying how shocked she was that her 7-year-old was coming up to her and telling her that like he wanted to kill himself and all of these things, all of these behavioral issues that she tied back to the foods that he was eating, which included all of the like dyes and the sweeteners and the high fructose corn syrup and all of these things. And I just feel like it starts at such a young age because like you said, with all of the like sweeteners and the sweets, candies, chocolates, whatever, it's like, from as a mom perspective, it's like, do I let my kid have these candies, these foods that are gonna make him happy? Like at the end of the day, they taste great, kids love them, like, you know, but at the same time, I just have this intense guilt every time Kai is eating something that I know has red dye 40 in it or artificial sweeteners, whatever it is. So like the other day, he was eating like Cheetos, and the whole time he's eating them, first of all, it's like getting all over him, like his little sticky fingers, it's literally everywhere, so it's right in your face.
Yeah.
But the whole time he's eating it, I'm just thinking like, God, like he's just eating this whole bag of shit.
Yeah.
Just this whole bag of junk that, poison. You know, and my mom was very like, what's the word I'm looking for? She was very like particular about the foods that we eat. So we were never allowed to have any of those sugary cereals. We were never allowed to go out to eat McDonald's. Like the only time that we would eat McDonald's is when I was with my dad occasionally, or when I started dating Walker is when I started eating out at McDonald's. And just that whole thing, I wish I understood at a younger age why. Because for me, I just thought like, oh, my mom's just kind of mean. Like, she's not letting me have these things when I was younger. Yeah. As I was older, I was just like, okay, mom, like, whatever, like, you know. But now, it's just like, I really wish I would have known ahead of time. Because, I mean, I was 20 years old, and I had, like, these chronic illnesses. And I'm like, this is not normal for me. I need to do something about it now. Like, it was a huge, like, wake-up call. And, you know, just how much the food we eat impacts our lives, and the ingredients in the food that we eat impacts our lives. And it's so much bigger than just like, oh, you're eating a little bit too much sugar, sweetheart. You know, it's so much bigger than that. It's like the types of sugar that you're eating.
This mom on Instagram was saying how like the dyes have no health benefit or nutritional benefit. It's literally the only reason we have like dyes and artificial sugars in our food is because it makes it cheaper to make and it makes it last longer on the shelf.
Yeah.
And so it brings in more profit to the
Yep.
people making it. And it's like, what's so crazy though is that like other countries don't have those ingredients in their food.
And it's the
like,
same brands.
yeah, the exact same brands.
Same
Like she was
brands.
talking specifically about like Kraft mac and cheese and like the yellow dye in it. And she says like the dye's been pulled since, but it was always being made without dye in Europe. So why is America putting dye in ours when it is nothing but...
Let's spell it out. Capitalism.
Literally. And obviously they're putting the dyes in that's making your kids have the behavioral or the health issues, which is then you taking them to the doctor, getting these young kids on ADHD medicine because...
Adderall, like, what 7-year-old needs to be on Adderall? Like, okay, there probably are a case-by-case basis if your 7-year-old is on Adderall. I'm not trying to call you out. I really am not. I'm just saying the fact that it even gets to that point, like, because I'm not denying that ADHD is, like, a literal, like, brain, what's the word? Like, a development issue. I'll just say that, whatever. But we're just talking about when it's, like a lot of the symptoms when it's caused by the foods that we're eating. That's when people are often wanting to like treat it, misdiagnose it. Then these kids are labeled as kids with ADHD, and I wonder if there's like a rise in ADHD kids like as of recently, because
I could probably look it up.
I mean, my little brother, his diet is pretty good for the most part, but like I said, we live in America. Do you know how hard it is to get away from these foods when it's the only foods that we really have available, like in Walmart and in the stores? So anyway, he's eating this stuff too, and I mean, he has he had issues with just anger.
Yeah.
Just anger. And I remember even as a toddler, my mom and I were trying to figure out like, why is he so angry at like 3 years old? Like, why is he having all of these actual like anger issues? And it's different from like tantrums, you know, I know that, but it just, we thought he'd grow out of it and it just didn't. And so finally, you know, my mom is like changing up his like diet, and that's finally helping him with his, you know, behavioral things. And no, it's literally insane. And my mom, the main thing is my mom was like watching the amount of sugar that he has, particularly high fructose corn syrup. And so, and obviously all the dyes and whatnot, but it's just the fact that doctors and people are so quick to just label someone and then put them on medication for it. And the medication is like, I don't know. I'm not even trying to say that I don't believe in Western medication. I just don't believe it needs to be prescribed as much as it is. As much as it is.
Yeah, no, because it's like, how many parents do you think are like, you know, seeing these issues in their kid and taking them to the doctor, getting this label put on them and thinking, okay, yeah, that's
problem
what's wrong
solved,
with them.
like, yeah.
Rather than, you know, them taking their child to the doctor actually examining them and saying, oh, it might be because of this. And, you know, then you first changing your diet around to see if that fixes anything, rather than just jumping straight to medication.
Right.
Because, like, I know not everything probably has a natural, like, fix, but there's a lot more so things than we, like, think of that can be fixed naturally without these harmful chemicals being put into your body.
From me. Okay, so I found out that I have PCOS. And so I've been taking my, like, probiotics and some supplements for that. But the main thing to reduce my symptoms is my diet. So for 2 weeks straight, I cut out, actually, I'm probably on like 3.5, almost 4 weeks now. And I cut out dairy, processed sugar, and gluten. Mainly because the gluten itself, I think I just had like a little bit of an intolerance to it. Like I just get really bloated and whatnot. But I remember, like, I would tell Walker at the end of every single day, like, I am in so much pain. I am so bloated. Like, can I just go off on a, like, a little side story real quick? Okay, speaking of bloated, I talked about this in a TikTok. I'll briefly touch about it. Tell me why I took a picture to show how bloated I was. I was butt naked, completely naked. And then the next day I have this meeting with, like, a brand that I'm working with, and I accidentally send the naked butt-ass naked photo of myself bloated. Dude, this poor lady. Anyway, but that was, I just thought about that. Like, I was like, damn. It's one of those, like, embarrassing moments that haunt you. Just
They just come back at the random times to remind you that you embarrassed yourself.
But basically, I was having, like, these super intense, like, abdominal pains. I was, like, super constipated. Just all of these issues. I changed up my diet. I shit you not. Well, I do shit because now, thank God. See, my thing was that, like, a lot of most American foods do not have, like, any fiber in them. And if they do have fiber, it's barely any, if at all, and it's not the right kinds of fiber. So by just doing more research about the specific types of foods that I need and getting the whole foods that I need. So, like, you know, let's say I need some fiber. Let's just say I needed some, like, rice, like some whole grain rice or whatever. I'm looking at the ingredients, and if there's anything other than just rice it's just kind of like, I'm not gonna eat that. Anyway, but back to fibers and stuff. By adding that to my diet, the next couple days I was, like, pooping like normal again. And my body was happy and I was happy, and I literally had, like, a little poop log. I'd tell Walker about it, like, and so then after a while it just became, like, a normal thing for me. But I can't tell you how many months I was just having these intense, like, abdominal pains, bloating, swelling in my body because of the foods that I was eating and just the lifestyle in general. And so once I switched that around, not only, like, have I been losing weight, but that's not my ultimate goal right now. My ultimate goal was to literally get better so I could, like, walk again. That was my goal. And so after doing so much research, the more you open your eyes, the more it's just, like, heartbreaking. Because, I mean, there's not really much I can do besides feed myself and my family and tell others. And that's kind of what we're here doing. Just
trying to spread some awareness. But it's just, like, and it's just also so hard that you mentioned earlier that food and trying to get healthy food is just, it makes it so much harder for people in, like, poverty, because it's like, why are the cheapest, most affordable options so terrible for you?
Right.
Whereas, like you said, you had to spend $15 on
a
natural avocado oil.
Yeah.
That's like, I could go to McDonald's and get
2 meals.
Literally,
almost, like,
I could
well,
feed...
I don't know about inflation anymore.
Yeah, true. But it's like, still, like, even, like, with McDonald's, it's like, if someone were to go there, you know, still to save money, you know, if they were trying to eat better and get a salad from there, you know, rather than, like, a cheeseburger, why is the salad, like, 3 times as much as a burger?
Right.
And it's like, this is rabbit food.
Right.
I could go buy a head of lettuce for the same amount.
Honestly, but if I'm really taking care of my, like, rabbits, I wouldn't feed them one of those cheeseburgers to, like...
It would probably kill them.
Right.
It's probably made out of rabbit. JK, I love McDonald's, but it is really bad for you.
Okay, since we're already on the topic of, like, food and poverty, I wanted to go into some of the statistics for America and just, like, the obesity epidemic in general. So did you know,
fun fact,
this is coming from the CDC as of 2023. Again, I will link the source in below, but over 41.9% of Americans are obese. American adults are obese. That is 101 million obese adults in America. And for children, which this is the part that really gets me, because these children are, like, set up to fail in the first place. But it is 19.7% of children. That is 20% of American children right off the bat are obese. To why some of them are, like, my ideas as to, like, why there's so much obesity in America, and then some of them are, like, actually, like, proven facts. And so I will list them, like we said, we'll list them. But so I wrote down, why is obesity so prevalent in America? First of all, there is no nutritional health in, like, the American, like, public school system. At least for the one that I did, we had, like, one health class, and I feel like I didn't learn anything in that class other than, like, oh, girls get periods and men have wet dreams, or like boys have wet dreams sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And it's like we had a health class in what, like 7th or 8th grade?
Yeah. And it was for half a semester. So personal experience, we didn't have the best like information and knowledge about food in general and how it impacts your bodies. I mean, the only thing that I can even think of is like I took like AP Bio, and we learned about like the chemicals and stuff and like your compounds in your body and whatnot. I feel like that's different, but that's because I chose that class. It's like not a standard curriculum. That there's just like no knowledge in America like growing up for these kids to learn actual real nutritional facts. And then on top of that, you go on social media and you see a million differing opposing sites about what nutrition and health actually is. And it's so confusing. It's so overwhelming when I feel like it doesn't have to be. Like, why are there so many different sources telling me that oh, red meat's gonna kill me, and then actually you need some in your diet? Or it's like, why are there so many different opposing sides when I'm just trying to figure out what's best for me, and it's hard to do that. Another point I have is this is going to go along with exactly what you said about why there is so much red 40 and the yellow dyes in our food is because it's cheaper and it makes it last longer. Well, that's the same thing with high fructose corn syrup. I mean, in America, just look at your food in your pantry. I'm so serious. It's in everything.
Much.
It's in your bread. It's in your cereals. It's in your drinks. Like lemonade, soda. It's in everything that you eat.
And it's like even stuff that you wouldn't think to be sweet.
Oh,
and
right.
It's just like, why is this in here? And it's literally just so they can keep it on the shelves longer.
Yeah. And I'm just going to compare it to Europe. But in Europe, in their sodas, they use cane sugar instead of actual high fructose corn syrup. And it's just like so much better. And I mean, sugar is sugar. And that's a whole other discussion.
But it's like, if there's better alternatives, why don't we have them yet?
Right.
If they have the ability to make it better for us, why are we still getting poisoned? Like, that's just what I can't wrap my head around.
No, it's so true.
But it's because it's their plan. The Secret Covenant told us all.
Right. It's all about money, unfortunately.
Yeah, because the guy who wrote that, like I said, he was the richest man in America, and it was him looking for ways to stay rich and get richer, and it's just like,
and it's so evil.
Why at my expense? Why at our expense? I'm just here trying to survive, bro. Why are you making it so hard for me? Like, all the exterior factors are always so much, but now you're telling me I have to worry about everything. You're telling me I need to download that food app we were talking about and just go, like, when I go grocery shopping, literally just scan before I buy. But the problem with that is everything you scan is bad. It's like, even the organic stuff that you think is good, that they're labeling it non-GMO, no preservatives, no this, no that. You scan it and it's like, oh, but it's still gonna give you cancer.
Right.
It's like, what?
And it's like, with that, it's also like the stores that you go to. So I went to Natural Grocers the other day, and tell me why I think I maybe got 10 items, and it was like over $90. Like, and I didn't even have enough for a week. It was barely enough for half of a week. And it just goes again with how expensive it is to actually eat whole foods and good foods in America. And so when you go to Walmart and you're scanning these things and you see all of the greenwashing packages, and it's like, it's all done on purpose.
Like what we were saying earlier, like color theory, like you see these, green products and it's like, oh,
healthy,
green, healthy. Yeah. And it's like, oh, they put the USDA or whatever label on it, showing that it's organic. But like I said, it's still just, there's still shit in it. Like, why are they flying planes over our crops and just spraying them with pesticides to get them to grow faster, or, do this or this? And it's like, just the way we mass produce food here, and like don't even get me started on like chickens,
The chickens
and
and the
cows and
hormones
stuff.
and
Oh my god.
It is awful.
Like, why can't we just let chickens be chickens and just, you know, eat them?
Also, another thing is the eggs that come from chicken in general. So like, first of all, the whole egg market, me literally just like, being a stay-at-home mom, I do my grocery orders all the time, so it's like I know the price of things. So when I tell you I would watch egg prices like I would watch like the stock market.
Literally, because why'd they go from like $2.97 to like $8.99?
No, literally. But anyway, I was just gonna say that I start to look at the different like types of eggs and the labels and all of that stuff, and so you'll see the like cage-free eggs, and you're thinking like, oh, this is like better, it's more humane, it's more expensive, but I might as well, because if it's going to a good cause, like I want my money to go somewhere better, right? No, cage-free.
They cage-free because they can't move nowhere because their legs are broken.
Exactly. And not only that, but with the cage-free, it's like they stuff these chickens to where they don't even have any like wiggle room to like move around, if they could move around.
Yeah.
And that's what they mean by cage free. However, if it's just like a normal box of eggs, you can almost guarantee that these chickens are literally in this like little square cage that they'll be in for the rest of their lives, just laying eggs and like whatnot. So when you are looking for eggs, definitely look for like free range on the box. However, those fucking eggs are like $8 to $9. And I mean, our family, I mean, we have a family of 3, we go through eggs like all the time. And I can't afford to pay that all the time for eggs. And so that's another thing that it just sucks, because what am I going to do?
I know, it's just that constant cycle of, you know, do I want to get the most bang for my buck, or do I want to
die of cancer and be able to like pay rent?
Yeah, literally. Said, good eggs, long life. Bad eggs, dead.
Right.
That's it.
Just gone.
You know, to have the facts and to have the knowledge of what you're putting into your body, like you have to look so deep into, and just to have the facts of what's going around you, you have to look so deep into, because it's like you can't believe what's on the surface level anymore.
No. You have to open your eyes at some point. And so we are here to help you do that. I'm serious. Like, your body is such a temple. It's the only body that you get, especially like as a mom, or if you have a family, it's like you're gonna want to do anything to protect that family, make sure that everyone's happy, healthy, loved. And so you really have to do your research. You have to pay attention to what you're eating, and if you can, start by just making like simple swaps. You know, like that oil, it was $15, but it's probably gonna last me like a good month.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like I'd rather do that than keep having to spend the same like $5 on a canola oil and, you know, whatever. It's like I would say it's definitely worth it to do your own research, to look it up, to make sure that what you're putting in your body is something that's going to nourish and help you along the way, and not cause you to have all of these serious health conditions, as someone who had all of these serious health conditions. But yeah.
And it's like, I just wish it was easier for us.
I really do.
Because I know, like, me personally, I'm one of those people who just lacks motivation so hard. And so it's like, I could know something will be good for me, or I could know something will be bad for me. But it's like, do I want to go through the work to fix it for myself? I know I should, but, like, do I really want to? And, like, that's something I struggle so hard with. And it's just like, I just wish so much that it was just the slightest bit easier to be able to.
Because here's the thing, feeding yourself and feeding a family is not easy, and I will stand by this forever, because I do it all the time. Not only do I have to sit there and plan our meals, what we're gonna have, I have to make sure these meals have proteins, carbs, that have veggies, like, you know, I have to make sure that we're getting our nutrients in.
Gotta have the food pyramid.
Right? And then I have to order those groceries. I have to plan out all of the meals that we're going to have. I have to order those groceries. I have to pick out each ingredient, make sure like each item I'm ordering is something that's going to be good for our bodies. Then I have to come home, put those groceries up. I have to make those meals all throughout the week, 3 meals a day for our family. It is so hard. And especially if, like, the reason why I'm able even to do that is because I work from home. Not, I can't, like, not a lot of people get to do that. Not a lot of people have time to do that. That's another thing that is like great good old capitalist America. Everyone has jobs. Everyone like doesn't have time to just sit here and make a meal for 30 minutes and then eat it. Like, not everyone has the time for that. So when I tell you that, like, preparing meals, getting everything going and cooking them, it's so much harder than you would think. Because I mean, it just sounds like, you know, go eat some vegetables, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not that simple at all. And I feel like we all need to just be a little more like lenient with each other, with ourselves, because it's really not hard. I mean, it's really not easy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I guess also, kind of coming off of the whole food topic, because like we said, we're being poisoned in every aspect of life,
So
I
many
feel
ways.
like. You were talking about like the pharmaceutical companies and stuff, and how we were saying these dyes kind of go directly correlate with like doctors and medications, because it's like you see these behavioral issues and they're, you know, getting put on these medications. And that's something I did a whole research essay about it in high school, about how if doctors actually have the ability to like turn their patients into opioid addicts, because like you said, it's all about capitalism, it's all about making profit. And so, you know, they'll have patients coming in with these issues, and like I said, instead of looking deeper, they just, here you go, here's a prescription.
Right.
And it's like that with so many situations. And it's like, how many of those situations could be fixed by just, like I said, a simple switch of a routine? Like my mom growing up, we got into like a car accident, and so she went to the doctor and she got like pain meds for it, and then she was also on like anxiety meds. And then she went to another doctor and got the same pills, and then she went to another doctor and got the same pills, and like very close time frames apart. And you would think that, you know, they would, I don't
recognize
or see, or just anything like, oh, this woman has gotten this prescription multiple times, or like just ask her, maybe like just do any kind of digging to see if she really needs these pills or not.
Right.
But no, they're so concerned on making money that just she would go in, they would write the prescription, she'd be on her merry way to the next one.
Yeah.
And it was like she would have like 5 months worth of medication at one time. And it's like there's no reason, like the pharmacies didn't catch this, the doctors didn't catch this, like no one caught this, we are just letting it happen, you know?
It's like the doctors might not have caught it because it's
Like obviously she could lie and be like, oh no, I've never gotten these.
Right.
And like I don't know how a doctor would check into another doctor's
at the end of the day, you have to go to the
office.
pharmacy to pick up your things.
And she was getting her pills from all the same pharmacy.
Right.
So it's like, how did that not raise a concern, you know?
And it's like, it's so sad at the end of the day, because I mean, these aren't hypothetical situations. You were literally saying like your mom's addiction to all of these things have caused so much like trauma in your family.
Yeah,
and
like
just,
I literally don't even have a mother anymore.
right.
And it's like even if she was still in my life, she is literally so far gone from all the pills and all the stuff that she's put into her body that she literally just is not even my mother anymore. Like she is just
really
a completely different person.
But at the end of the day, it's still not fair.
Yeah.
It's really not fair.
And it's like, it's crazy to think like, what if someone did catch it? Would she have gone down as far as she went down, you know?
Right.
And it's just all the what ifs make it even crazier. And it's like, and those are what ifs that are in so many occurrences with these doctors, you know? Like there's just so much I feel like they could be doing that they're not, because it's easier for them to make a profit.
Right.
And like we were talking about, I had seen a TikTok, and it was of this guy who he had like twin daughters, right? And one of them had developed a tumor on her brain, and the doctors were like, you know, we can go through with all the treatment, we can do everything that, you know, we have to do, but she's gonna die probably within a month. But obviously, you know, that's your child, you love them, you want to do everything for them. Yeah. And so they went through with the chemo, they did everything they could trying to help their little girl. And eventually, like, they decided to take a different route. They were like, okay, you know, this isn't really doing anything for us. Let's see what else we can do. And so they got Dr. Bruinski. He had, like, made a book talking about a way to cure cancer that was, like, completely...
like, holistic.
Yeah. And so they started using his practices. And they were like, after so many months, she was completely cancer-free.
Right.
And then they put her back on the... I don't remember what the word was, but it was like whatever the doctors were giving her, they put her back on that, and her brain had completely formed with cancer all over again. Put her back on Dr. Bruinski's whatever, and
Gone. Tumor gone.
And it's just, she literally, like, became cancer free, survived cancer, beat cancer, and it was like that he said out of 52 people, like, with the cancer she had, she was the only one who died cancer free, because they used whatever was in that book. And she wound up eventually dying from neurological necrosis, which her brain literally fell apart in her skull. She had second-degree burns on her head. Her hair never grew back. Her brain fell apart in her head
because of
the chemo. And the doctors actually told her father, like, they advised against the practice that he was practicing at home. They were like, yeah, no, like, I probably wouldn't do that if I were you.
Right.
But that's what made her cancer free. And what killed her is what the doctors were doing to her.
Right.
And it's like, that is just so crazy. And then we literally looked the book up on Amazon, because I was like,
oh my gosh.
I was like, I want to see, because I had thought I had heard something about, like, the book being banned, but
right.
it wasn't. So I look it up on Amazon. $985 if you would like to read the book, own the book, with these practices in it that cured this man's daughter.
Yeah. $985.
And what for a book? And what does that fucking say about?
No, right. Seriously.
And it was like, I was reading more into it, and it was like Dr. Bruinski literally, like, he found a cure for cancer. He saw, and he researched, and he saw that, you know, the people with illnesses that were labeled as undiagnosable, he saw that they were lacking something that these healthy people had, and so he took that element from the healthy people and gave it to the cancer patients, and they were fine.
Right.
He said, I don't remember exactly how many, but he cured, like, multiple people who were labeled as incurable.
Right.
And it's like,
the proof is in the pudding right there.
Right there in front of you. And just the fact that that book is $985.
Yeah, it's right there in front of you for $985, like, on Amazon. Oh my god. And I don't know. It's because, like, if they got to make a profit somehow, so if you want to take a more holistic approach, they still got to get their money.
Yeah.
It's like, it just really sucks. But with all of that, even that tragic story, one of the root causes is just big pharma and the pharmaceutical companies in the US in general. So I did some research on it because, you know, I see all these posts everywhere that's saying, like, oh, these pharmaceutical companies are evil, like, they are literally just greedy, money hungry, like, powerhouses. So I wanted to, like, look into it, and what I found was that they are literally greedy, hungry powerhouses. Yeah. So I was reading this quote from a book called Pharma, I think. I can't remember, but I'll link it again. But the quote was saying that the highly addictive nature of the pharmaceutical products, coupled with no government oversight, is always going to be good for sales. And I mean, that it's just so true. The fact that healthcare in America is run by these independent companies that are controlling what you take, how much you take, why you're taking them. And I mean, I even have personal experience with that. You in your family, your mom has personal experience with that. Just how much these opioids can really affect and damage you and those around you. So basically, if you don't know what big pharma is, because I always hear that, like, label, so I just wanted to get the definition. It's just big pharma is an abbreviation for all of the US's major pharmaceutical industries. So I think it's made up of like 6 of the largest US pharmaceutical companies. And that is what I'm referencing when I say like big pharma. So big pharma in 2014 grossed over $1 trillion. And I know 2014 was a while ago, but
for 1 trillion in 2014?
Right. Imagine in 2023. And the reason why it's like so backdated is because like these companies are very like secretive with their money, and it's hard to do like
have current updates.
Current updates, like visible access to these numbers. So, but $1 trillion that they grossed in income. Even crazier, there was a $10 to $12 billion lawsuit against the federal government and Johnson & Johnson's company about the opioid epidemic, and I gotta do more research into that because I was just like, well, what was their part in that?
Yeah.
Like, why is that such a huge settlement? Like, what did they do?
Literally. And that's crazy because when you think Johnson & Johnson's, I'm thinking
Oh my gosh.
the baby soap commercial, baby powder.
Baby lotion, bath soap.
What the hell they got to do with opioids?
Right? It's like that one guy. It's like, I love Lady Gaga. What the fuck she got
Literally.
But yeah, literally just they're always in these like shady lawsuits. They have so much power in America because if you're sick, what are you gonna do when you have nowhere to turn and you need medicine and you're dying? That's what so I just feel like the ethics of these pharmaceutical companies to literally like leech off of Americans, like sick Americans, getting every penny that they can, charging $300 for insulin, and just prescribing all of these pills. It's this whole evil system.
Literally what the fucking Secret Covenant said when it was literally like, we're going to poison them and keep poisoning them so they come for us to help, and then we're going to give them medication and poison them more. And it's like,
what?
Why am I in a constant poison cycle?
Right. No, it's so true. I had transverse myelitis, and the reason why I say had is because like I still have it, but my symptoms I have greatly reduced. I mean, like I'm literally up and walking. Like, come on, like, you know, that's amazing. And so once I was diagnosed, once I found out that I had it, I literally have this medicine cabinet in my laundry room full of these prescription opioid drugs. And for the probably first 2 months of me getting diagnosed with this illness, I just did what my doctors told me. I took these pills. I was seeing no results. I was like getting so discouraged. My mental health was at an all-time low, and I was just doing what they were telling me to do. Yeah, I was just taking these medications, like, because I was in so much pain.
And it's like, why? And it's like, I think that's a big issue. Like, not to say that you were following blindly, but like, I mean,
I'm literally 20 years old, and like,
it's like they're supposed to be the people to tell you how to make you better, and so obviously I'm gonna listen to them. I should trust them. You know, they went to school for this. They know about this. I don't know about
especially
this.
When it's like teams and teams of teams of older people all telling you the same thing, that you need to be taking these medications. You need to be like I was on steroids. I was like pumped with pain medications, and it never solved any of the root issues that I had. And it wasn't until I started doing my own research until one day I was just meditating, and it was really powerful. And I was just going over all of the things in my life that I felt like were not doing me justice anymore. And I was like, okay, all of these prescription pills that I'm just taking, just popping them like candy, just in my drawer, I get them refilled, I'm just taking these things. What's in them? What is it that I'm taking? Why is it like causing all this pain to go away? But then when it starts to wean off, I'm feeling the pain like 10 times more intensely than I was earlier. Going like back and forth and doing some research, I stopped taking these pills. And for the first week or so, I mean, I was like, it's sad, and I'm about to tear up a little bit because I never talk about it because it's just like really embarrassing for me. But like, I would literally just be in the kitchen, like, or playing with Kai, and I would literally fall down, like collapse, and like just all of a sudden just in pain. And I mean, I just didn't know what was happening. Anyway, sorry. It's a little bit like, thank you. I don't know. It's hard because I went through something so traumatic at such a young age and I didn't know. I'm sitting here and I did so much healing and so much inner work. Like, I'm literally about to cry because like, I think about it, but I don't really sit and think about it. The fact that I was able to like get out of this cycle.
Yeah. I mean, you really like a whole 180, 360.
No, seriously.
360 no scope.
Like, I'm just like so proud of myself, and like shout out to Walker and even Kai, because like when I tell you how much of a difference it makes having a supportive partner that also is like on the same kind of like beliefs as you. If I didn't have that, then I don't know where I'd be right now, but it wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You know? And so just from personal experience, it is so hard to get out of. And it takes so much. It takes a great support system. It takes knowledge, first of all.
Yeah.
Knowledge, a great support system, and a plan, an action, motivation. And one good thing, though, that I will say is that when you start to take positive like steps in your life, it kind of like domino effects into other positive effects of your life. Once I started cutting out the refined sugar, though, I started noticing my behavior changing, my mood changing, my mental clarity. It's like it's like more at peace. I'm able to sit through and like think through more things and think like thoroughly about, you know, things like that. And I don't feel constantly overwhelmed with emotions and stuff like that. And
that brain fog is
the brain fog,
such a real thing. Yeah, it gets to a point where it's like, how much of this is like the things that I'm on, like my actions, like how much of this is really my actions and how much of it is the opioid making me do.
Right. At least for me, sometimes I would literally gaslight myself.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help anything. I would literally just be like, oh, I'm like, I don't know why I can't just like remember things. Like I literally hated that so much about myself. I'd be in the middle of a sentence and I would just blank.
Forget.
And it hasn't gone away. I still do that sometimes. But when I tell you, it's gotten so much better.
Maybe I really need to get on your journey because...
Well, I'm thinking about like posting more videos about it, especially the food thing and like the food for healing. Did you know that your micro gut biome causes so much of your like mental illnesses and stuff like that?
That's crazy.
No, it is so crazy. And it's like, again, it's all comes down to the research you do. But for me, it started out with me wanting to heal my gut, and then it literally snowballed effect into all of these other great outcomes that happen as a result of me changing my diet. So, I mean, absolutely, like, I would totally recommend, but that I'm not gonna lie and say that's not hard.
Yeah, but it's definitely, I just need to do it. I need to do it. I need to just take care of myself, because I already do too many other things to my body that probably aren't good. Like, I need to fix what I can, you know?
And I mean, doing that is what I really truly mean by self-care. I don't know, it's just like whenever I think of self-care, you think of like bubble baths, spa days, you know,
let
whatever.
me treat myself.
But no, self-care is making sure that you're gonna live a long, happy, beautiful life. And it starts with your food and diet, what you put into your body. And then by doing that, it's like it also like manifests outwardly. So for the past literally few months, like I've had so many people just complimenting me, telling me I look like happy, healthy, and that's so it goes like such a long way to actually be doing something and then to see like results. Because like once you start feeling better in your body, it's literally just what you put out into the world. It's how people see you. The way you see yourself is how people are pretty much gonna see it, right? And you don't have a lot of control over that, but like you kind of understand what I'm saying. It's like a whole energy vibe type of thing.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if it's a fact or not, but talking of Big Pharma, did you happen to see how apparently Kobe Bryant, he was like in a lawsuit or something over some like energized or like energy laced pills that they were having, and he got in that plane crash and died 3 days before he was supposed to go to court. Scary. What's that one TikTok sound? Like if you think the government wouldn't do it, you're wrong, or something. Yeah, no, literally.
Or I was thinking of the one that's like, haha, like what is it? Funny, but
funny, yes.
but not
Funny, haha.
Funny, weird.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Funny, weird as fuck. Like, again, back to the fucking, the what is it called? Yeah, the covenant. He who speaks shall die.
Right.
I'm not saying it's a coincidence, but...
So what I'm thinking about the covenant, like, I don't know. I mean, if it is written by, like, the actual, like, Rockefellers themselves, that is pretty damn spot on. What I think it sounds like, it might be, like, someone who wrote it, like, as them or something like that. I don't know. But if it is written by them, that is the most scary shit that I've ever seen in my life.
It just reminds me of, like, the Illuminati and stuff, and like how it said, like, we will use people who you look up to like do our task or whatever. And it's like, when you think about it, like, influencers have such an influence on us,
right?
Like,
on what we do, what we buy, like.
And so obviously, you know, if I were to see, I don't know, Harry Styles like promoting something, I would probably be like, oh yeah, like, that might be kind of cool. But it's like, who's to say? Because I did see that. I think Harry Styles was in the Illuminati. I forget what he was part of, but I saw that. I know y'all saw that list on Twitter. Like, yeah, wasn't Beyonce like the secretary or something? But it's like, these are people that, like, you grow up to love. Like, I've liked Harry Styles since, you know, One Direction. When I was 11 years old. And it's like, I'm almost 21 now. That's 10 years of liking this man. Yeah, loving this man. So, is he really gonna sell me something that's gonna kill me? Like, it's scary that they have that ability. I don't know.
I don't know. He's such a, like, goofy man to me. I don't know. He's so funny.
Yeah, he might not be the best example. I don't know if he would sell me something to kill me, but Hailey Bieber would.
Oh my god.
Her road skincare is just like
just toxic. It makes your skin melt off.
JK, I don't know. I can't speak for it. Never tried it.
I haven't. It made my skin fall off.
Well, now that you've been informed of how America's poisoning us, I guess.
Right, now that your eyes are open, you're third on it. Like,
yeah, literally.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, so much of this stuff is out of your control. And I actually do want to close off this episode by, like, talking about this real quick. The only things that you should really, like, be stressing over are things that are in your circle of your life. Because, like, I talked to Walker about this the other day, and I have so much anxiety about the world that we live in. And I mean, it's bad enough just living in it on your own, but again, when you have a baby, it's like, I really want to make sure that the environment in the world that he lives in is a world that is safe
and happy,
nurturing, happy, healthy, loving, all of the above, like, right? And America is just not that, especially for kids. Like,
literally, you can't even send them to school without the thought of maybe them getting shot and killed. Right. Which, that's a whole other episode.
That's gonna be part 2. But yeah, I just want to say that if you can, try your absolute best to control what's inside your circle. So the food that you do eat, the things that you do consume or watch or whatever, it's like, try your best to focus on that and let all of the outside world stuff be outside world stuff. And that's so hard because I'm saying this right now, but it's something that I'm actively trying my best to do and struggling with because of just how overwhelming it is sometimes, the world that we live in.
No, literally.
The country that we live in. Clearly, we are not afraid to, like, talk about crazy things. I mean, if I was about to say next week, if we don't make it back,
Big Pharma did it.
I would say that I would never kill myself.
But I already tried that.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, I guess.
I'll see you next time.
See you next week.